Good morning and welcome to My Chamber TV. I'm filling in on behalf of Barbara. And our first guest this morning is Megan Willoughby with First Title Source. How are you, Megan?
Good morning, Annette.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. This is exciting.
So tell me a little bit about your business and how you got involved with the title company and what interested you in this.
Sure. Well, I first jumped into title back in 2008 and got a little nervous with the way the industry was then. Went back to serving nonprofits and then jumped in full time in 2012. So I've been working in title for about 10 years now. I've been with my current company, First Title Source, for 3 this month. It's my 3-year anniversary, and we service the entire state of Florida, working with stellar realtors and lenders all around the Tampa Bay area and beyond, and their clients.
Throughout Florida, you said?
Throughout Florida.
How far south do you go? Have you ever been down to the tip of Florida for
Absolutely.
closing? Really?
All the way down to the Florida Keys. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so realtors and title companies that are mortgage companies have contact with you.
Yes.
And
anyone buying, selling, or refinancing their home, we're able to close that for them. We're the closing entity.
yeah, interesting.
And
so what other areas of Florida have you been in? Like, what's the furthest?
Well, we cover the entire state, anywhere that we have a connection with that. But locally, right here in Saftey Harbor, we like to do our closings at the chamber.
Yes, and I schedule the conference room for you when you
do.
Yeah, that's a great location to do that at.
Especially
Yeah.
when new families are coming to the area and coming into Saftey Harbor, one of the extra benefits of that is we're able to give them a little welcome package from the chamber to welcome them to Saftey Harbor. Inside that has a bunch of pieces, doesn't it?
Oh yes, yeah, there sure are. There are a lot of amenities as well at the chamber, so members can take advantage of the conference room and use in our facility almost any time of the day and any day of the week as well.
And there's information on some of our members, such as shops, restaurants, places to go, things to do.
Right, right. So when visitors come in or call or look at our webpage, if they're looking for a title company, your name will pop up if they do a search on the webpage. And people walk in, we got business cards, and we have yours on display as well.
Yes.
And I got a question about title companies.
Okay.
Different states, the title is a little bit different. Sometimes the seller's responsible for it, and sometimes the buyer's responsible for it. And it's been so long since I had my closing, I don't recall. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
Sure. Well, here in Florida, title companies are able to do every closing. In some other states, they can be an attorney state, so you may need a real estate attorney to be able to do that. That's not the case here. So whether you're buying or selling, you may have a say in the title. Typically, it's the seller's choice, seller's responsibility, but like anything else, you can negotiate that on your contract. So typically, it's the seller that chooses, but there are a couple counties here in Florida where the buyers do choose and is their responsibility, and that's Sarasota, Manatee, and Monroe County, which is the Florida Keys.
Okay, so in Pinellas County, the seller
Seller
chooses.
chooses.
Okay, that's interesting. And what kind of information do you find that's maybe sometimes surprising on some of the title research that you do? And do you do that all online? I'm assuming there's no need to go to the courthouse anymore for that information.
Not so much. I mean, we do our searches. We send everything to underwriting. I have awesome team, here in Clearwater, in West Chase, and Palm Harbor, and they all work together seamlessly to get everything closed on time. And as far as some of our clients, when we get to work with these real estate agents and lenders, we also try to provide additional resources to them. So from time to time, you may see me advertise a CE credit course for realtors or some opportunity for lenders to get together and network and meet other agents, because we do cross paths so often in that closing process and servicing clients all around this area that it's nice to have a friendly face on the other side of that file when you see and recognize a name.
And form a little networking group.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. What's one of the most unusual locations that you've done a closing in? And I'm going to add, during the pandemic, closings weren't face to face in a conference room, were they?
No, they weren't. So we stepped up and got on board to be able to do a closing called RON. It's remote online notarization. So we can actually do online closings. We were doing curbside closings, kind of a drive-by closing situation. We can do mail-aways. You can come to our office. We can come to your home. A variety of closing options for everyone during the pandemic, especially to fit every comfort level, because there was just so much going on.
So it'd be like a drive-through closing.
It was. It was.
Oh, how interesting. And that's probably effective and useful for somebody that maybe has some, is prohibited and cannot make it to a physical location or closing.
Sure. We do quite a few remote closings is what we call them, where we'll come to you or come to your client, whatever's easier. One of my favorite stories, just to use as an example, is we were working with an attorney. Him and his wife were purchasing a home, and he wasn't able to get out of depositions. He had depositions all day, in and out. So we sent a closer, and they sat right outside of that room. And every time he had a break, he'd come out and sign a few pages, go back in, come out, sign a few pages. So, we do what we need to do.
Yeah, that's great that you offer that flexibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why Safety Harbor? Why did you pick Safety Harbor?
I moved to Safety Harbor in '99 with my family, and I've been in and out of this town ever since. So it's why not Safety Harbor, really.
Well, exactly. Why not Safety Harbor? All of us harborites love Safety Harbor, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. So did you go to school here as well?
I
You were
did.
young in
I
99.
went to high school here. I went to Countryside. I went to USF, got my bachelor's, and then I went to Ringling College of Art and Design.
Oh, did you really?
I did for art school, but.
Oh, okay. No wonder you do a little side job that's artistic. Tell us a little bit about that.
I do some fish art on the side, just a hobby, but they make excellent closing gifts. So fish art and title insurance, they go together. Who knew?
Exactly, they do. Yeah, I was wearing one of your masks during the pandemic.
Oh,
that
that's
had
right. I did
your
make those.
starfish and some other items that represent Safety Harbor in the sea or the Tampa Bay area.
Me too.
So excellent. And you're also a mom now.
I am. He will be 6 months old, Colton Lee, 6 months in 3 days. So.
I've enjoyed seeing your photos of him on Facebook, and he's just growing like a weed.
Thank you.
He looks like a
Thank
happy
you.
baby. That's excellent. Yeah. So is he going to go into the title company business too? Do you have plans for him yet?
We're working on crawling. So.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
small.
Yeah. And how's that coming along?
It's going. It's going. So.
Did you have to kind of stage your house so that?
Not quite there yet. But he's made it interesting. Luckily, being able to have the flexibility, and so many people that we are working with, I mean, they have families, they have kids, they have grandkids, so we all kind of work together. And every now and then I bring him into the real estate offices. He's a hit.
I've seen you at a booth set up at Health and Wealth that we hosted
Yes.
earlier in the spring, a few months ago, and there was Colton ready to help anyone that walked by.
That was a great event at the
And greet
chamber.
them. Yes. The chamber hosts a lot of fun and exciting and events that I think are beneficial to the members.
I think they are too. It's been a great way to reach out, kind of get my name and first title out there, but also being able to connect and service them. I mean, some of the people that we've met through closings or that have moved to Safety Harbor or anywhere around Tampa Bay really have become, friends. Anyone that I work with isn't someone that, I don't do a lot of cold calls. Those are people that I'd be willing just to call up on the phone and meet up, have a cup of coffee, invite to an event or sit around and have a conversation with. So
Yeah.
it's nice. I try to really, really be personal in everything I do.
That personal touch, I think, goes a long way.
I think
and that's
so.
probably why you get so many referrals. And as far as getting together and having coffee, and there's so many little places and nooks and crannies here in Safety Harbor to do that. So
There
I bet
is.
a lot of that's done right here in town.
And seeing so much of that transition in our area, that's part of the growth, part of people moving. I mean, I've been part of the chamber for as long as I've been in title.
I was going to ask you about that. It was ever since I got involved with the chamber 5 years ago. You were already a
I was
member,
already.
so it's been a while, right?
It's
Megan?
been 2012, 2013. So again, about 10 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now you're a board member on the chamber.
I am. I'm on my second year of being a board member.
2 years already.
Yes.
Wow.
And prior to that, being an ambassador.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of ways to help people get involved.
That's right. You were an ambassador for a while.
Mhm.
That was a fun role, getting to know more of the members and telling them the benefits of the chamber.
Yep.
So, well, we hope you continue to grow your business, and we'll do as much at the chamber as possible to help you grow your business.
Absolutely.
It sounds like a lot of the referrals are from people you know and realtors you know. In fact, I will be interviewing one of your realtors that you do business with here in a few moments today.
Yes, we will.
So it's a great networking opportunity as well. So yeah. So what do you foresee this summer as far as closings? Do you think the summer will be as busy as it's been this spring? Because I hear it's been busy this spring, but I'm not in your role. So tell us about how busy has it been, and what do you foresee for the summer?
Well, typically closings would follow the school year almost. So any
Okay.
time from, March to April throughout the summer, and then in time for school is when we would see the busy season. And then when COVID happened, it didn't really matter. Everything was just busy. As far as refinancing and people, the moving's slowed a little bit, but we haven't really been able to identify that busy season. Everything's been busy. The market's hot. Inventory's low. That's why, some of the prices are up, but people are moving and, buying, selling, and refinancing. So we're doing everything to keep up with that. Like I said, we have an awesome team, and it's exciting. It's definitely a good time to be in real estate.
Yeah, that's great. And as far as refinances, I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, I'm refinancing because the rates are so well. So that adds a lot of business to your type of business, doesn't it? Because even when you're refinancing, you still need maybe a new title or to update your title.
Well, we have certain credits available. So if someone had purchased their home a few years prior and were deciding to refinance now, whether they were doing a cash out refinance or another type, we can use that pre-existing, that prior policy and add a credit to their account. So there's things available to them. That's why we really like to know who we're working with and ask the questions that are needed to be able to save them on those policies.
Okay, so when you're refinancing and you use the same title person again or title company, there's a little less work to do in preparing the title, maybe.
You don't even have to use the same title company. Any of us can do that. So if they closed with someone else as the buyer and maybe didn't have a choice in the title company, I can work with them now as they refinance.
Yeah. Okay. That's excellent. Well, again, I wish you the best in this coming year.
Thank
you.
We
Too
have
bad Colton's not here.
We have an exciting year
continue.
planned. We have a lot coming up with the chamber and other events to have here in Saftey Harbor. So just be on the lookout for anything with First Title Source or even any of our networking events. Come out, meet a friendly face, and see how you can get involved with us and with the chamber.
Yeah, and stop at every third Friday in Saftey Harbor. There's a big whoop-de-doo. Main Street's closed, and vendors are set up on the main street, and the locals are out there. You'll probably see Megan and Colton and
we'll
your
have
husband
Colton.
too.
Yep.
Yeah. So thanks again, Megan, and we'll see you around in town.
Thank you so much, Annette.
Thank you. Okay. Have a good day, and we'll be interviewing someone next. So stay tuned. Welcome back to My Chamber TV, and thank you, Sue Lagree from Remax Action First.
Thanks.
Good to have you here. Tell me about what you do and all about yourself.
Well, that sounds good. Thanks for having me. This is exciting. I'm a member of the Saftey Harbor Chamber, as I'm sure you know, and I love that we have this opportunity to be able to feature my business a little, which is that I'm a real estate agent here in town with the company called Remax, which I think people have heard of.
Yes, we have.
And Action
everyone.
First is my particular office.
Okay, and
Yeah.
your office is right here downtown Safety Harbor, right?
Well, technically, it's in Clearwater,
Okay.
actually. I do a lot of work remotely. I live here in Safety Harbor, and it's wonderful. We have so many public places that we can meet with clients for coffee, or here to look at some, here in Accents by Paula, to look at some home decorations and that kind of thing when people are house shopping. So.
Yeah, well, thanks for reminding me. I keep thinking you are in Safety Harbor because, well, you're my neighbor as
Yes.
well. Member of the chamber, and I work at the chamber also, and I see you everywhere in town. So I always think, okay, you're always downtown Safety Harbor.
I
Most
love
time
it. To
you
me,
are.
it feels more natural than an office setting. And you never know who you're going to run into. I wear my name tag a lot just because, I sometimes get approached by people out of nowhere. Hey, I have a question about the market or that kind of thing. So I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, working at the chamber and in the visitor center, it is not uncommon for guests to come in and say, I love this town. I need a realtor. What can I do? Are there places to rent, places to buy?
Right.
So it's good to wear your name tag everywhere.
Exactly.
in
It's
Safety
true.
Harbor.
I even have a sticker on my laptop because as I'm working, you never know who needs some help. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what drew you to Safety Harbor?
Oh, wow. The first time I came to Safety Harbor was for a mustache pub crawl.
A mustache pub crawl. Okay, tell us about that.
I was living up in New England, and I have family that's been living in this area for many years. And I've got family in Dunedin and Clearwater and Oldsmar, so all around
Okay.
Safety Harbor. But we came down, and one weekend there was this theme, so everybody had a stick-on mustache, and wherever you went to any of the bars or restaurants to collect tickets for having a drink or an appetizer or something, everyone, of course, could tell who was in the pub crawl because of the mustache. And we laughed so hard. We made so many friends, and it just stayed in my heart. And so when I was finally ready to relocate, my sister was like, you're going to move to Dunedin with me. And my brother's like, oh, I have this great place in Oldsmar. I'm like, there's just something about Safety Harbor that I love. And
Was it the stick-on mustache?
that was the introduction to how friendly, honestly, the people in this town are, and how wonderful the restaurants are, and the live music that we get at all the different bars and restaurants. It's just a perfect fit for me. So
Yeah.
I knew this was my home.
Oh, well, so glad you moved here. There's such a sense of community. It feels like the Safety Harbor residents are my family. Is sort of
Exactly.
how it feels. as
Exactly.
well. Yeah. Well, I wish you had a picture of everyone that you were with those mustaches.
I
That would be
do
fun to
have
look
one
at.
somewhere in my phone, but it would take a while
Next
to find
time,
it.
next time. Oh, how about real estate? What interested you in real estate? And
Boy,
what's your experience with real estate?
So it's interesting for me. I've come at this from interesting angles.
Okay.
I'm from Massachusetts. I'm actually an attorney up in Boston, and I practiced real estate law. So up in
wow.
Massachusetts, you have to have an attorney. It's called an attorney state. You have to have an attorney to close real estate transactions. Down here, it's a title state, so you need a title
Yeah.
company to be able to close. So I sat at the table and did, sort of the legal end of things and helped make sure people understood the documents that they were signing and that kind of thing. And then coming down here, so I feel like I have a really unique perspective as a realtor that you basically
Right.
get a free lawyer brain out of me.
You
So,
do. I was just going to say that.
I always have
yeah.
to disclaimer, I'm not licensed
Two
in the
in
state of
one.
Florida. But I do take my negotiating skills with me and make sure that certainly the people understand every step of the way what's going on with them. And then I made sure to find a really great title company that I feel comfortable with because I do know what it takes on that end. And I work with Megan Willoughby from First Title, who's another chamber member,
of the
and she's
chamber,
just
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
She really gets it. They really go the extra mile. They're super great with communicating too. Sometimes the hardest thing is just the waiting game. And at least, listen, we're waiting on something, but if somebody gets back to you, you can at least, okay, they haven't disappeared, just things like that. I think kind of a little bit unique.
It's so nice to have that rapport with another company, another person.
Exactly.
You can probably call Megan and say, let's set up a closing.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
And then
it's
your
wonderful.
clients are lucky to have you because you can answer a lot of questions. You probably refrain from some of them, but you
Well,
know-
I'm a good referral source for
Yeah.
other attorneys and
Yeah.
other professional sources for sure.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
interesting. So what properties do you sell the most? Condos, houses, Safety Harbor?
Yeah,
Pinellas
that's a good
County?
question. I wish I could say Safety Harbor. There's There's not a lot for sale. I mean, really everywhere the inventory is low. I think the people that live here love it.
Well, I'm not moving anywhere.
Exactly.
My house is
And
not going up for sale.
I try to talk to them like, come on, let's sell your house. But they're like, where am I going to go? They love
Right.
where they live. I think it's exciting for me to get people relocated, especially, I know for me, it took me a long time to be able to finally relocate and have no more winters in New England. So that's kind of near and dear to my heart when I can get somebody from out of town a place and they're so thankful to be here.
Right.
It's also really exciting to help first-time homeowners, I have to say. You know, they're probably the most, needy. You work the hardest in a lot of ways, but it's just so satisfying, honestly, to go from renting a place or staying with your parents even, or with roommates and all that kind of stuff, to having their own asset that they own. It's really exciting. So I love the properties at Clearwater Beach. They're difficult to come by, but they're very exciting. So I have an office down there at the beach as well. And then anywhere around Safety Harbor, Palm Harbor, even down to St. Pete is on fire. That area is very, very exciting. So I do a lot of work down there as well.
I'm partial to Pinellas County, so I always say we live in the best county.
I agree.
But I do
agree.
love it. Yeah, from St. Pete, Dunedin, Palm Harbor. You mentioned working with first-time homeowners. What would you say the age is? I know things change over the years, and when I was buying my first home, I was in my early 20s, and I just wondered, what is that age group now that are buying their home for the first time?
That's a good question. I feel like, so my clients I've had early 30s, but I have been surprised that some of them are in their late 20s. So it's probably not changed much, but maybe they're a little bit more mature buyers, or maybe people are taking sort of longer to make that kind of decision or make enough money to be able to invest in real estate, Yeah.
When I go back to the days when I bought my first home, we bought a small home and then later bought a larger home. Is that the trend still to
Absolutely.
buy small and
Yes.
then
Yes,
work into
either a
larger
small home or a townhouse or a villa or a condo, where at least you get the benefits from home ownership without all of the responsibility, and it's usually a better bargain as well. So I see that a lot.
Right. How do you get your clients? You mentioned that you wear your name tag and your approach here in town. Do you ever get calls from somebody in another state that just happened to find you on the web, or
Yes.
a friend of a friend in another state?
Yeah,
How
well,
does
that's for sure. I mean, social media is, as we know, it is just, here to stay. People are very savvy. Honestly, it used to be that people would need your help to find properties. And nowadays with Zillow and Trulia and all the apps, they're very savvy in terms of what they're looking for. So they really more need they do need somebody to be able to get them into the property, see them, do some background digging and make sure, why did this go on off market 3 or 4 times? Like, you start to see some things, and you can go dig through public records and then also just help them to negotiate. What are they going to make for an offer? What kind of contingencies? There's some little tricks to it. So, yeah.
I'm really glad you said that, because I know that Zillow exists and people can find property on Zillow online. And I wondered, okay, do they need a person? Can they do all this without a realtor? It sounds like there's a lot of benefits to contacting a realtor.
Yeah, for sure. For
So-
sure. A lot of Zillow's interesting. When you click on, if it says, schedule a tour.
Right,
People
right.
think that they're clicking and they're reaching the agent that's listing the property, but they're not actually. That's a lead that goes to a buyer's agent. So actually somebody like me would get that phone call and say, let me research this property for you. Let me see when are you available. We'll set up the appointment and we'll go in and take a look.
And then you can help them with all the final details.
So I do help some Zillow leads as well.
Yeah, interesting. That was
Yeah.
something I always wondered about, but never thought to ask. So I'm hoping people listening are
Right.
like, okay, yeah, that's the importance of a realtor, even when there's so much that can be done online.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you ever have get to a closing without having met the buyer? It probably happens rarely, but it might.
It hasn't happened to me yet. At the end of the day, they have come in from out of town. Occasionally, I've met a person, but they've closed remotely, and to me, I'm a little disappointed. I like that sort of final, here's the keys, big hug,
Yeah.
But that's just the reality in today's world, especially the second home market. Sometimes they're like, we get it, we're thrilled to have it, but can't get down there, and they close remotely. So I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah, so hopefully one day you'll meet them. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's some excitement when you can hand the key, congratulate
It is,
them.
yeah.
So that's such a big moment for the buyer,
Yeah,
as well
absolutely.
as you. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, that's definitely the satisfying part of it. Some of
Right.
it, it's a lot of frustrations and stress of, is this going to, is the financing going to work out? Are we going to win the bid? There's a lot of that kind of hustle and bustle. But when it's finally all come together and it's closing day and they get to own the property, that's that moment. So
And
it's
one
good.
final question before we close.
Sure.
If somebody's asking for a specific property, maybe a 3-bedroom condo or a 3-bedroom villa, and inventory is kind of low, how do you go about? I mean, what's your game plan?
Right.
Getting on the phone, searching? I mean,
Yes, yes, and yes. We are lucky that I have access to the MLS, which, so instead of people just searching online willy-nilly, really, I can do a custom search for them. And the moment something comes live on the market, they're going to get an email about it. Sometimes I've had people with Zillow, by the time they actually look at the property, it's under contract because it's been 3 days and it goes that quickly. So I can at least
Wow.
provide a custom search that's got exactly what they're looking for. And the minute it comes on the market, they'll get an email and we can jump in, and keeps us
Yeah.
very, very competitive for that.
jumping in is important because I hear so many people say, oh yeah, there was this house I saw, I wanted to get it, but I didn't react quick enough.
Yes.
Things
Yes,
go really
exactly.
fast, don't they?
Especially here. We were number 4 in the United States, according
Number
to Zillow.
4?
But guess what? We're number 1 now. We are the busiest.
In the whole
one.
United States,
Yep.
we're talking Far East, the far
Yes.
western part, the whole U.S.
Yep.
Number 4. That is incredible.
It's competitive, but it's worth it because you do get to live in paradise. Let's face it.
I
it's
know, we
wonderful down
do.
here.
We do. That's how I feel. I'm not going anywhere. I don't
Exactly.
think you are, too. I hope
Exactly.
not. You're my neighbor.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much, Sue. It's been
Thanks.
great. I know you probably got some closing schedules soon and have to get on your way. So
Thank
wish
you.
you the
This was
best.
wonderful.
And thanks again, and thanks for being a member of the chamber as
You're
well.
very welcome. I love it.
Okay. Have a
Okay.
good afternoon.
Take
Bye,
care.
everybody, and stay tuned for the next one.
Bye.
Good morning and welcome back to My Chamber TV. And our guest this morning is Michelle from Kadampa Meditation Center. And did I pronounce that right, Michelle?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about what is Kadampa Meditation Center and what does Kadampa mean?
Sure. Kadampa Meditation Center, the center's been around since 1996, and we purchased a house in 2008 and renovated it with a beautiful meditation room and a World Peace Garden that we have in front of the meditation room. And essentially we offer classes on meditation, and it's meditation derived from the Buddhist tradition. The word Kadampa itself, it's a Tibetan word, so Ka refers to all of Buddha's 84,000 teachings, and then Pa means person, and Dam refers to a special presentation of those 84,000 teachings by an Indian Buddhist master, Atisha. So I apologize. It's a very long translation, but essentially, a Kadampa is somebody who puts all the Buddhist teachings into practice. And so practice is the essential word that we use because, as we know with spiritual teachings and meditations, it's very easy to talk about them, but to live them in your everyday life. So living like compassion, love, inner peace, alternatives like not getting angry, but instead being patient. So very much practice is emphasized in the classes.
Just you talking about it kind of gives me a calming effect. I can feel it. So you purchased a house here in Saftey Harbor, and that meditation center has now become your business?
We're part of a worldwide tradition. It's called the New Kadampa tradition. So we have centers all over the world. So within Buddhism, you have many different traditions within Buddhism. So it's similar to like Christianity. You have like Baptist, Methodist, and so forth. So in Buddhism, you also have many different traditions. So we are a nonprofit. We are considered to be like a church. And I've only been here for a year. I'm coming up on my year anniversary of living in Saftey Harbor.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a beautiful town. I love it. So they bought the center in 2008 and then did some renovations. And we recently did some renovations to the meditation room. Yeah.
So, so you're a nonprofit organization, and
Yes.
is your center open to anybody? Do you have to be a Buddhist, or is it open to the public? How does that work? Who can attend your classes or sessions?
Okay. Yeah, basically everyone can attend, and that's a common question that we get. On our sign, we put everybody welcome to basically help answer that question, because you can gain a lot of benefit. So for example, we have, guided breathing meditations. We have coming up in a couple months, like a course on how to overcome anger. So instead of getting like frustrated or irritated, how to have a different response, to the annoying things in life, or just trying to release stress. There's so many people, like they'll come in like this and, and then they leave the meditation much more relaxed, much more peaceful. So, everybody can benefit, and there's no requirement of what you yourself have to do. So you just show up, and what you want to take from the class, from the teaching, is what you take, and what you decide to implement in your everyday life, that's completely up to you.
Yeah. Our everyday lives seems to be so filled of different things. We have so many responsibilities, family, work, getting dinner, groceries, and so much that I understand the need to relieve stress. So someone can look on the internet maybe during the day and say, oh my gosh, I'm having a little stress. I need some relaxation, some downtime. And then they would look and find a schedule of the different courses. Is that online or?
Yeah, we try to offer, we try to offer something for everyone. So we have what's called a general program. So Sunday is our most popular class. It's Meditations for World Peace. So for this month, we're focusing a lot on meditations for improving like love and compassion, being more selfless as a way to improve your relationships. So every class will have a different theme. So as I mentioned, there's 84,000 teachings in Buddhism. So you never fall short of, coming up with the topic, and it's all meant to basically improve the quality of your everyday life. So the main foundation teaching is that our happiness really depends upon the quality of our mind. So if you're going through life like very stressed, or like a lot of depression, or if you're getting irritated with everyone, or if you don't like anyone, getting angry at people who are driving, and so on and so forth, that affects your level of happiness. And so if you can learn to train your mind, which everybody can learn how to do that, you can train your mind in inner peace, and that's precisely what you're doing when you meditate. Where you're training your mind in patience, or to be more loving. And then you bring what you've accomplished in your meditation, you bring that, into your family. So our teacher, Geshe Kelsang, he's originally from Tibet, and he's the founder of this particular tradition. And he's very much a proponent for integrating the teachings into everyday life, like you mentioned, work, family. So if you're meditating on love, then, you know, when you go home, you're putting that teaching into practice with your family. And then when you go to work, you know, so not like getting angry with your coworkers, but learning how to appreciate them or to be patient when difficulties arise, and really integrating the meditations with everyday life.
And that leads to a feel-good, calming sense in
Yeah.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
I need that when I'm on I-4. Will
Yes.
that help?
Yeah, a lot of the examples in teaching are like driving. Originally, I'm from Boston, so my
Oh,
go-to
okay.
analogies tend to be driving.
Yeah.
And again, you know, it's you can drive with an angry mind, or you can drive with a peaceful mind. You can be in a relationship with a lot of turmoil or a lot of love and compassion. So it's not so much the externalities, it's more the mindset that you have going into them, or the quality of your mind within that situation. And so that's what we try to do, is to provide tools and techniques and different practices to basically move the mind in a more positive direction. And so like taking it out of negativity and into inner peace, that depends upon the mind. So whether you're healthy or not healthy, you know, you can stay to like peace and compassion, whether, you know, your relationship, you know, if there's turmoil or not. So basically gaining like a stability of mind and not being so like up and down depending on the externals.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned the healthy part,
Yeah.
because, you know, I mentioned that feel good, and we all want to feel good and feel
Yeah.
calm, but there's a relationship there between how we feel in the mind and our
Yeah.
actual body and the health
Yes.
of our body, isn't there?
Yeah, everything depends upon basically everything else. And so like you know, our happiness depends upon our mind. You know, the health of our body depends upon our mind. Our relationships depend upon the quality of our mind. And so everything we do is really about improving the quality of our mind. And with that, then everything else, you know, will improve as well. And you'll see a big difference. So even though like your family's not changing maybe, but your view of your family will change. So you can go into those family reunions and you can stay longer than like 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
Or like not dread certain interactions at work, and have more confidence, you know, no matter what happens, like I can stay to basically a peaceful mind.
Yeah. When I think of meditation, I automatically have this vision of yoga and Zen and all that. Is there a relationship between yoga and Buddhism or Kadampa?
Yeah.
Derived from the same source, or is it different?
It is different. They're like different traditions. So for us, like we don't do so much like physical practices. So I know yoga does incorporate meditation, of course. And, you know, I've also found like in the last 20 years, you know, schools have incorporated meditation. I think like the Google corporate offices, like they do mindfulness with their employees. There's prison programs now that do a lot of meditation, mindfulness. And so I think people are just really understanding the value of those practices. And instead of always just trying to improve the externals, you know, which of course, you know, we need basic conditions for living. But more attention has been on improving the quality of the mind as far as having a better life. So I think that's wonderful. You know, like the more people practice meditation, regardless what tradition, I think that's great.
Well, so many of us concentrate, or there are a lot of people that concentrate on the physical health and the
Yeah.
eating right and everything. And it's so easy to forget about, you know, the
Yeah.
peaceful mind
Yeah.
health that
Yeah.
we can receive
Yeah.
by attending the courses that you just mentioned. I'm anxious to learn more about that
Yeah.
myself, so I need to stop in.
Yeah.
So, who are your who would you say your target audience is, or what members do you usually get coming in?
Yeah.
Locals, young people, older people, or is men,
Yeah.
women, or is it a variety?
It's usually a variety. I find it interesting at this center. So this is the 8th center that I've taught in. So I tend to move around a lot and help to organize centers and so forth. But my main job is teaching. And here we get a whole variety of people. And usually it tends to be mostly women, but here there's more of a balance. And sometimes, like, there's been at classes where it's been all men. And I do a double take because I've never taught to a class of all men. I've taught to classes of all women before. So here I find there's a bigger mix. And, most people come in like they're either wanting, just to learn how to meditate. Other people, they're wanting more of like the spiritual teachings, or, they're wanting to improve their relationships. So everybody has like a different kind of reason for being there, or wanting some more meaning, or wanting to be part of a community. And that, I think, has become very big, since COVID, is, feeling connected. And people often say they find it easier to meditate in a group, to be in that group setting, because the energy of the group can carry you.
Right.
So there's many different reasons that people will come. Some, they like Buddhism, they like the teachings of Buddhism, they want to be a Buddhist. So the reasons are kind of all over the place.
And there's so many teachings to choose from. There's something for everyone. So imagine in a group session, people know the name of the group, or the name of the class or the session, and thus the topic, so they kind of know what to expect. However, I'm guessing it's beneficial no matter what aspect or need that you have.
Yeah, and with our general program class, as I mentioned, like the Sunday class at 10 a.m., that's our most general class, Meditations for World Peace. And, so we'll do from like how to meditate to teachings on love and compassion. We're going to do a series on overcoming anger. So we try to choose topics that everybody feels accessible. And then we'll have more like in-depth study programs where we'll go through one of our books. And then we also have like chanted prayers. So we also offer what would probably considered maybe like the more religious aspects.
Okay. That's excellent. And our time is about to run out. There's
wow.
so much to talk about. So Michelle, thank you so much, and stay tuned for the next one.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to My Chamber TV, and good morning, Paula. Accents by Paula.
Good morning,
You have
Annette.
a lovely shop. Tell us about it. How long have you been here?
Thank you. Well, I've been in the area for 26 years now.
Wow.
Been in this location for 12 years, Saftey Harbor. So it's this is my favorite location for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what got you into this business? Tell me a little bit about your history with your creative talent that you have.
Well, like when I was 16, I worked at a card and gift shop in downtown Buffalo, and my boss said, put me in charge of the stuffed animals. So I did some, funky things with the stuffed animals.
Oh, wow. That's how
made
you
them,
started.
made them hanging from things. And so she's like, oh, people started buying it. So, then next thing you know, I'm doing the windows on Main Street for the displays, and just kind of escalated from there. Yeah. So I moved from there to Washington, D.C., and I was a floral designer for 5 or 6 years there in Bethesda, Maryland. And then I moved here and just said, hey, I'll just open up a shop.
Yeah, well, you have a lovely shop. I wish we could showcase the whole shop, but people can come in and visit your shop. What's your address again? You're right here on Main Street.
Yeah, it's 454.
454, the
Main
big,
Street.
beautiful white house. Yeah. Well, I admire your talent, and what I don't understand is when I moved into my tiny little place from going to, coming from a larger home, I thought my place is so tiny and so cramped. I need help. I came in and we interviewed, and it's like you got in my head and knew exactly what I want. How do you do that? What's your secret? What do you do?
I think that with everybody's taste is different, and I don't want to impose my tastes onto my customers. So we call it putting on the Annette hat. We'll go shopping with you what Annette would like. And so we do all kinds of styles and things. So we try to get in your head. That's exactly right.
You did. You didn't just wear my hat. You got in my head because I don't know if you do this with all your clients, but you told me to leave my house
Yes, you
while
gotta get out.
and your coworkers, while Janet and you did your magic in my house, and I came home and it was like, well, I wanted to come home for lunch and you said, no, you got to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm coming home for
Yeah.
lunch now. Okay. And I walked in and it was like, oh my gosh, those were the things I would have picked out had I seen them and known they would have fit. I mean, it just amazed me how you really get into your customer's head.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the thing that makes it the most fun for us is when we make you leave, and
Yep,
we
you did.
transform the room or the house. Sometimes we'll do an entire house all at once. But the reaction that we get, I think, from people coming in and the different types of reactions are the most fun, and that's why we do it, for that reaction, not for the money. We just love that feeling of making something pretty.
Yeah,
So-
I remember walking in and it's like, oh my gosh, is this my place? I think I even shed a tear. I was so excited and happy about it.
Yeah, the best one was when this lady come in and she just, with her 2 daughters, and they all started screaming and fell on the floor.
I guess they were really happy, right? Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. So do you service just Safety Harbor, or how far out of Safety Harbor do you go?
Well, no, we go anywhere. In the United States, we've done several.
Anywhere in the U.S.?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, in Canada, we've done a house up in Canada,
Really?
and I'm waiting for the one to say they have a French villa for us to.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you need someone to help you with the language,
Right?
let me know.
There you go. Perfect.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, but no, but
Yeah.
we're, obviously it's mostly in this area.
Right.
And it's all probably 90% word of mouth, as people just pass us around, and so.
Right. And people find you just walking on Main Street
Yeah,
too,
just
right?
coming
'Cause
into
your
the shop, and they kind of say, what is this place? And then
Yeah.
we fill them in and let them know, well, we have design services where we come out and, redo rooms or help you with colors, or, even if they just need to refresh, if they've been in this rut for 15 years or even 10 years, we just need a fresh look. We'll come
Right.
and get new pillows, a few new things, and make it a whole new look for them. It doesn't have to be a complete renovation.
Just to freshen up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I might need one in a little while myself. And your shop, people can come in and buy so many different things. I mean, there's jewelry. I bought some jewelry from you here too. So you have jewelry.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of everything. I can't think of anything you don't have.
Oh, we try to help out local people too. Our jewelry is, most of it is made by some local girls.
Oh,
and-
is it? I was going to ask you. I was looking
Yeah.
at your jewelry on the other side over here in the cabinet behind us that y'all can't see.
Yeah.
And I noticed you have a beautiful collection of jewelry. Some of it looks vintage and antique, and some looks modern.
Yeah,
so.
some of it is actually vintage, and you know, you never know what you're going to find in here. I have to
Yes.
look around myself all the time.
That's why I like to stop in often. Speaking of stopping in on Third Friday, you're usually open on Third Friday
yeah, we're
during our
open.
Third Friday celebration on Main Street.
Yeah, we're always open, and I mean, you know, it's a fun venue to come in, and you know, I usually have a little glass of wine for if people want it.
I've taken advantage
I
of
know.
your glass of wine.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, it's more of a fun time, you know.
And you have musicians.
So,
Tamar
Usually,
Dupre from down the street.
yep, from
beauty
Tamar Dupre
salon.
Salon. Yeah, she comes in and they'll perform singing, you know, with Ed Schmidt and or whoever wants to come. I have a piano now in my showroom, so if anybody wants to
Yes.
come in and play the piano, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can stop in at Accents by Paula's to buy a gift, schedule home service, decorating.
free
refreshing.
consultations.
Okay.
Yeah, we come out to your home for free, and no pressure at all. I don't like pressure, and so you just, even if you need something small, or if you need a whole room redone, that's fine. And then you know, usually a couple of weeks go by before we're ready for you, and then we come out and do our thing.
Yeah.
So and then you get to just shop in your own house. You know, we make it. We give you the ultimate look, and then you pick out the things that you like, and whatever doesn't work for you comes back. No problem.
That's what I liked about doing business with you, is that I never felt any pressure at all. You came out, you did things, but there was never any pressure.
No.
It was like we can do as little or as much as the
Just keep it
customer
fun,
would like.
you know?
Yeah, well, that you did. You and Janet had a way of making things really fun. Yeah,
Oh,
and Janine,
thanks.
who's always here too. She's your
Yes.
sister, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it's always a pleasure to come in, and sometimes I see Mickey. I thought he would
I
come out
know,
here and
she's-
visit, but
Mick.
where is Mickey?
She's
He's a
in-
highlight of
she's in
she's a
nap
highlight
mode
of
right
the
now.
shop too. So yeah. So.
But enough about me. I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Oh,
Annette.
okay. All right. Sure. Go ahead.
So I know you're Safety Harborite.
Yes.
But where
yep.
are you originally from?
Well, originally Michigan.
Okay.
And back in the early 80s, I moved to Oldsmar, Florida, and discovered Safety Harbor. This is way back in 82, so I'm dating myself. Discovered Safety Harbor and bought a house on Swanee Street, and then moved out of, I lived here about 10 years, moved out of state. And about 5 years ago, I thought, okay, I am moving back to Safety Harbor. So I did, found my little place, and had you help me make it a lovely, comfortable little spot that I have, my little villa. I really like it,
It's
thanks
so
to you. And I wasn't sure what to do, so I started volunteering at the Safety Harbor Chamber, and I liked it. And then a half-time position came open. I said, okay, Susan, our CEO, I'll take it if you're hiring. And I was hired half-time. And then a full-time position came open. I said, I'm applying for that, Susan. So I got this. I've been there, I think I'm going on 6 years now. I said
Yeah.
5, but I'm getting close to 6 years. But I love Safety Harbor.
I know it's a big family. Yeah. We
Yeah.
all know what's going on, you know, with each
Yes,
other.
it is. It's a real family, a real family feel.
So for the chamber, for what you do for the chamber, is it do you plan events? Do you help plan events?
We
that
do.
go on?
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
There's always something going on down here.
There's always something going on in Safety Harbor. And we planned the Harbor Sounds event for many, many years.
I love that one.
Art and Seafood, which takes place in the spring. That's a 2-day event.
Is that coming up?
Waterfront Park. That's coming up, and by the time this show is aired, it will be in the past. So
Oh, okay.
every spring, and it's usually February, March, or April. It depends when we can get the big waterfront park over there on the bay. Lovely
nice.
event. And then we do a Brews and Bites at, last year we did that at the Crooked Thumb. So everything we do, we try to do as much to promote our members as well. So just this filming today, we wanted to do this at a member's location. Of course, invite members because it's my chamber TV, but the location we always want to be at a member so we can showcase their place.
Right.
But anyways, back to the events. We used to do Taste of Safety Harbor. That has evolved into something a little smaller scale because of COVID, and who knows, that may come back as the Taste of Safety Harbor on a larger scale. And every third Friday, we host that event. In the past, it used to be the city. So we work with the merchants, work with you to find out who's doing what, get some bands. And oh my gosh, if you like music, this is a place to be
I
in your
know.
shop as well as other businesses and pubs.
Like
And
every
then
other
up and
block,
down-
there's
Yeah.
music and something going
Yeah,
on.
and they're
That's
names
great.
that people know too. So it takes the full staff at the chamber to organize all this, and then we look for
Sure.
volunteers. So anybody listening who would like to volunteer in Safety Harbor, just call the chamber.
I'm busy. Sorry.
You are busy, but we're always looking for volunteers to help us. At the beer truck or check in. There's all kinds of roles.
It's fun because
and-
you just get to meet so many people.
you
It's-
do.
yeah.
You get to meet so many people. And there's
Yeah.
a variety of roles. And what we do is we like to break it down. Like if there's a 9-hour day, if the event is a 9-hour day, we'll break that into 3-hour shifts. So people can enjoy volunteering and then enjoy the event as well.
Oh, that's nice
Kinda
to know.
mix it
'Cause
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have thought that you're going to be there for the whole.
There's a
time.
few people that will say, well, I'll do this shift and then the shift tomorrow. It's like, okay, you can, but we don't expect that. We want
Yeah.
you to have fun. We want you to have so much fun that you'll say, I'll volunteer again next year or
Right?
next event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not
But,
bad.
yeah, this is a fun place. I love Safety Harbor, and working at the chamber, I get to meet people like you and the other members and downtown businesses. And yeah, it's great to have you on the air and learn more about your shop, Paula. And
Thanks
I
for
hope
the
you-
opportunity.
yes,
It's nice.
you're welcome. One of the many opportunities that we offer at the chamber, along with others. And we're running out of time, so we can't even share all those wonderful opportunities, but contact the chamber if your business is interested in growing and developing and reaching out to more and more people. You want to join the chamber to do that. And the Safety Harbor Chamber is an ideal location between Clearwater, Tampa, the northern cities and Safety Harbor, Pinellas County, like Palm Harbor and St. Pete. Ideal location. So thank you for joining us.